Hey, I'm Kev Mr. and welcome to MotoGP 17 Manager Career for the final time as we're headed to the season finale around the Ricardo Tormo Circuit in Valencia as we're headed to Spain.
A big hello to all our viewers tuning in. Today the MotoGP World Championship kicks off a weekend of racing action at the Ricardo Tormo track in Valencia.
As here we are in the garage for practice, as I thought for the final episode. I'll show you everything up the ante. We've got a different helmet for MacDonald. He's got the old red, white and blue for Great Britain, as it doesn't really fit with the yellow and black race suit, but I thought for the final race we'll do something different for MacDonald. As you see, he's got the British flag on the side of his helmet. As in free practice, as you can see, you get 45 minutes to just do as many runs as you want and just get used to the bike around this track, as we have got a longer race for this final episode and we've got harder difficulty. We're at the maximum difficulty now, so it's going to be a very tough race. Let's practice on the old hard tyres. As you see, we've got the bike settings as we normally do. Haven't really adjusted any of the suspension or the handlebars or the brakes. Well, the front brakes, a bit harder braking. He's sort of flying thin there in the garage. It's mainly about the gear in here. You can see we just load the first two gears. And with the tyres, we've got them on hard. So let's see what we can do in free practice. As there is Dan MacDonald, the final time on a MotoGP bike. Going to be attacking. Pushing 100%. He's retiring after this weekend. Had a fantastic Season 2. His only MotoGP title. Now let's see if he can end it with a victory. As in practice, going to do a few laps on these hard tyres. Let's see how long it takes for them to come in. Look at the wear as well in the bottom right. And of course, get used to this circuit with this bike. You can see already one of the best coming out of the corners, getting on the power. Which kind of indicates to me that perhaps the tyres do take a few laps to really get heated up. And again, maybe we need to adjust some settings on the bike as well. Even though I'm not the best at setting up motorbikes or cars in any game. There's got a massive crowd over Valencia. It's actually the third most popular Spanish race, I believe, after Jerez, which is number 1, undisputed king. So ours is a 28.4. That's a good marker to aim for. And then you have Barcelona, which is very popular. It should perhaps be even more popular next season when it returns to the older configuration. We hope the safety changes in place, meaning it will be a good weekend for the riders. And so that was a decent lap for the first part, but we seem to be losing around 7 tenths every sector. Apart from the first sector, I think it is. This sector is accidentally get down to first gear. Never want to be in first gear on these bikes. Always down to second. You see that in real life as well. They never really reach first gear. And it was the first sector we were pretty good. So we go wide. And this way you see how rubbish I am before I really get warmed up. And then you've mainly seen that in races as well. So I guess it's no different then. You're watching. There's everyone on their feet to the right hand side. Look how insane that grandstand is, how far it goes. As I probably should be paying attention to the track. 1.7 seconds down now is MacDonald. These are tyres, which I really do not want to run. But it's a long race. At 28.2. But now it's up to the ante. Now 1.8 back is MacDonald. So the tyres are pretty useless. There's Rossi goes down in practice. Don't often say that. Tyres are useless for the first 2 laps. May not be riding the best either, but Expecting to be a bit faster than this. It's at 31.1. So I'm going to do like 5 laps on these hard tyres. Again, that front brake not working how we'd like. It's now Alvaro Baptista down. This is what you see in free practice. You get so many riders going down. He's again braking a bit early into that right-hander. That's something we really got to adjust to get used to this bike. And of course, I haven't gone round Valencia since last season finale. Yes, there goes Cal Abraham down. Everyone is going down in Valencia. It's a very tough circuit. But still, you perhaps don't expect this much traffic in the sand traps already. So not really pushing 100% either with MacDonald. Maybe as all we go over the curbs. Just exploring the lines we can take as well. Where you can put the power down very heavily. We have the brake as well. Just reacclimatizing to the circuit on a MotoGP bike was very different from the Yamaha last season. As you're exploring the track as well on that lap. Went to the outside curve, didn't go off. Let's look at that 30.5. You'll see we're being a bit consistent. So that's better, braking in over that bump. So brake just as that curve appears on the right hand side. You'll see that from many braking zones where when the curve appears on, say, the left or right hand side, that's when you need to brake. And there we go, MacDonald. Couple tenths faster, but oh, trying to slide the bike in. And see, hard tyres, barely worn. But they have no pace. So we're going back to the garage, and now we're going on to medium tyres. Let's just repair the bike. As we need some pace. We need to be able to get through the qualifying too. We're not doing that at the moment. Way off. If we look at the timing session, it's even nice 28.2. Cut off for the top 10, Jack Miller 29.5. And there we are, 24.30.9. We're rubbing shoulders with Bradley Smith and Sam Lowes. Not the Britro want at the back. Of course, we want it at the front. And the Flying Finn down in 20th, 30.2. So terrible pace on those hard tyres. A couple seconds off. Let's see what we can do on the old mediums. So here we go. Take 2 in practice. Still got lots of time, over half an hour. But I don't normally run on the second compound. Normally I just run on mediums. See, that's pretty good. On softs. For this longer race, I have to try the hards. I have to try the mediums. Softs, I kind of know what to expect, of course, from previous races in Valencia from last season. Softs will not last that long in the race. That's about seeing whether the mediums have that right combination of pace and durability. As we look at all the right hand side. There you go, 3 tenths down for MacDonald. Definitely got more action on the rear end as well. Definitely feel the tyres already much grippier than our tyres, which had no grip. Offered nothing. So that's a bit of a slide from MacDonald into the braking zone. I'm sure that'll please the fans though on the right hand side, even though he's not Spanish. This is much more like it. Less than a second down. Oh, really battling that rear end though. Well, he's able to put the bike into places he actually wants, MacDonald, with these tyres. That's fantastic set to look at that. Oh, just 4 tenths down, and he cuts the curb on the outside. That could have screwed up his run here. To go into the final corner. Short shifted up. Get a smooth run. So fastest lap so far, but 2 seconds off. Lost over a second and a half in that final sector. Because again, that bump. We've got to think of that bump in the race as well. When the tyres get worn near the end of the race. Oh, that bump could come into play. See that with a couple areas there, such as this dip as well. Rear end of the bike can get away from you. That dip. Get it down a second. And see, speeding in the power bits more smoothly as well. Again, horrible braking into the left-hander. You don't want to be sliding the bike into there. Just want to be smoothly getting that bike in. But again, he's got similar lap times as to the previous lap. You know, once again, very wide. Again, can be so aggressive in this sector compared to our opponents. Still very similar to the previous lap. Again, got that right-hander horribly wrong, though. Gonna have to look at that. Being way too aggressive into the right-handers. That cost him another top 10 position. Does that smooth out the final corner, though? So we've got a good run there. As he dip under the 130s for once, but still 1.4 seconds off. Lost a second in that final sector again. So lots to improve in that final sector. Other sectors are more lined up though. So another bump there in that braking zone into the second corner. Got the sync of that again in the race. But very good first sector from MacDonald. This is more like it. Again, these tyres coming in after a few laps. That's what we've seen in previous races, in free practices as well. So just using the rider in front as a guide, and we're taking advantage of MacDonald sliding the bike into that left-hand, as you saw. Braking slightly early. A very good run. We're right there, and no, he tries to go down the inside, but he's down. But no one needs to settle that time as the bike doesn't seem to be damaged in the bottom right. We will see. We see if the tyres have gone off. That's the most important thing, as the tyres are in the range now. Look at that, lost a couple of seconds. Trying to get that right-hander right. Again, drifting wide. Can't get that right-hander right. And that's the most important corner perhaps of this final set, because he carried that speed into this final corner. The final corner pretty important for the run to the line, and it sets up of course the next sector for the next lap. But still, we need to get that corner right. If we don't, we're not going to get through into qualifying 2. MacDonald's going to have some extracurricular. It goes a bit wide there. He'll be stuck in qualifying 1 for the first time since Qatar, the beginning of the season. He is faster. First sector. Might have to discount this lap though because of that running ride in the first corner. We are just getting a bit of a glimpse just into what goes on in practice. I suspect this will be the same in rider career as well. It's 4 tenths down now as MacDonald. Just chooses when to nail that throttle. Again, taking a very nice line through that double right. That's the one sector who kind of got nailed. But here comes the infamous right-hander. Oh, he's up. MacDonald still alive, going through. Right-hander, that's improved. Not the best line though. Still got to improve that. Just slightly wide in the final corner. He takes a bit of a shallow line into it. But half a second off. Into the top 10. That's good for MacDonald. That first corner isn't. So still in that final set, you're losing almost 6 tenths of a second. It's massive improvements there, the game. He's going to wind down on this lap and then going again on the next lap. But looking at the tyre in the bottom right, rear tyre slightly worn. So you probably have to go with a hard rear tyre, I'm thinking. Could maybe get away with a medium front. Again, we're going half distance for the final race. Double of what we're used to around here. So I'm not sure about that medium front. Done this in previous games where I've done the 50%er. The tyre has been damn decent, but again, that's just a normal Grand Prix. This is Korea. This is a bit different. You know, it's like what you find in the Codemasters games, you know, in the F1 games, where Grand Prix mode, whereas the career mode, very different. Career mode is just a different world. As they go out the final corner, got a decent run. So our final lap in free practice. Let's see. We all can nail it. Go into the first corner over that bump. Picks up the bike nicely. Maybe go down the second for qualifying. It's a bit slow picking up the power. Keeping it in third. And drift the bike through the dip. And he's up again in that first. Oh no, he's lost on the braking. Not what we wanted. As that's our 20 minutes of practice. Can you get away with that, MacDonald? With that time, he can. Just sneaking through. As only in 10th, Sarko 9th, Lorenzo 8th, there's MacDonald, then Crutcho, Pedrosa, Dovi, Vinales, Marcus, and Valentino Rossi, 3,000 a second ahead of the home hero. I'm sure the fans are very happy about that. But we're half a second off. There's some work to do in qualifying, but we're half a second ahead of Petrucci, was in 11th. So we're kind of in middle ground here. Remember, I've upped the difficulty to highest as well. So we're kind of pushing. This would have been good on hard, but for simulation difficulty, still some time to improve. As you saw, that wasn't the cleanest as well. So let's see what we can do in qualifying 2.
Well, the first qualifying session is over, and now we're back with live coverage of the second part, where the 12 riders with the best times from free practice and first qualifying take each other on.
So here we go for the final time in qualifying. Dan MacDonald and Elusive are gunning for pole. It's been a very successful combination, even with the Ducati. Of course, the challenge here. Let's see what happens. We got the final corner, got a beautiful smooth run out of that final corner as we go across the line, headed towards the first corner, approaching 200 miles per hour. Going to get it down the second. I was saying that's the Honda on the outside. Now into the left, going over that bump. That bump really is going to be an issue in the race, isn't it? Let's go through the dip. Lift the power slightly. And into the right-hander. A bit more stilted under braking. We'll make it through the corner. And then the next right. Okay, a bit more speed through that corner. Then the left. Rear end coming out. Let's aim for on the soft tyres. It's not too bad. As now we go through the back, straight through the kink. Wave to the crowd. You get down to second. As there's a late apex this corner. But careful with the power of the short shift there. And oh, that's a bit of a cut from MacDonald. He's down. He's got one lap. It's old school. It's a shootout. Let's see if we can take this right-hander correctly. Oh, we can definitely take that faster, but at least we got kind of a braking point there. So we go through the kink. Gonna lift slightly through there. For the final corner, here we go. MacDonald, one lap for glory. Well, you end up 12th or first. So I did like that second gear for the first corner. Because I think that was a Spargo on the outside of the leash in the Aprilia. Go through the first set to go through the dip. Oh, losing the back end, but still just faster than his previous effort, MacDonald. Again, losing the back end. Which that's the biggest thing on the Ducati compared to the Yamaha. It's going to be a big boy in the race. As gets the braking all wrong for the left-hander. He's lost a couple of tenths there as MacDonald. You can see he lost 3 tenths thanks to that mistake. As Vinales sits down a 28.3. And MacDonald loses it. It is not going to be a happy qualifying, is it? Shall we see if we can actually do it on our 3rd go? Because again, it's been that corner that's caught out MacDonald in that middle sector. For once, let's see if MacDonald does have a 3rd lap in him. Let's go out the final corner, smooth as you like. Not really. The tyres should be maybe fading slightly. Yes, there we go. 3rd time lucky for MacDonald. Hopefully. But that's a good first corner. Too deep. Into the next there, but can hopefully pick up the power slightly early. Through the dip again. He's fastest in that first sector. Despite outbraking himself. And down the second. And look at this smooth application of power throughout all the corners. Brakes slightly early as well. Into the left-hander. Bit squealy. But hitting apex. That's the most important thing. Lost some time. Oh, and the bike's gone. It is not going to happen for MacDonald as he's damaged the bike too much. And he was right there pace-wise. Does he have one more go? Let's see. Of course, I don't normally do these many qualifying attempts, but it is the last episode. I have to try for MacDonald to get this pole. What's he on it? Sign off with like a 30 when, look at this, 2.5 seconds off the pace. That's not representative at all of MacDonald. As Marcus has a 28.2. Here's nowhere on the front stretch though. Ghost Marcus does it. Let's go through the first corner. Nice hit the apex. Using all of the curb on the outside. MacDonald's aggressive on his final shot to grab a pole in MotoGP. That's our fastest first sector, right up there with Marcus. Now into this middle sector where he loses some time, it appears. His opponents, a bit squealy. Applying the power. Let's go into the left-hander. Bit squealy, applying the power once again. Has a short shift up. Rossi does. The 28.2. Just faster than Marcus. Oh no, MacDonald. Couple of tenths off the pace. Vinales, they're all setting 28.2s. MacDonald can't even settle that time. He's down again. We might have time for one more lap if we can just make it to the line. As there goes Pedrosa by. So here we go. 5th time lucky then for MacDonald. This episode is going to be really long. I hope you've got some popcorn, got some drinks for this episode. As I said, really do not want to sign off that pathetic 30.8. Not representative at all, whereas MacDonald will make it across the line with 10 seconds to spare. Here we go, last gasp MacDonald. Gets down the second for the first corner. Nicely done. Will Pedrosa get in his way though on this qualifying effort, and whoever's ahead of Pedrosa, and it's like Alicia Spargo. Got a couple of Spaniards in front. He's right up there in the first sector, less than a tenth for very consistent. And Pedrosa is right in his way. Come on, Danny. Work with me. No, Danny, what are you doing? Give us some slipstream then. You're not going to get out of the way. And Nicholas MacDonald's up. Going down the inside of Pedrosa though. Into the left-hander, it's a short shift up to 3rd. Through the dip. He's going wide of that curb on the first right. Then into the second right. Maybe he can get some slipstream off the Aprilia down the front stretch. It's just a short shift up, and he's just ahead by 0.02 of a second. As he goes into the final sector. Can't go flat out through that kink. He can nail the throttle slightly. No, the curb! It just wasn't meant to be for MacDonald. He does qualify in 12th. We tapped that curb and the bike just fell like a hunk of junk. Not very good. There's Vinales grabs Paul by 5,000 of a second ahead of Marquez, with Rossi in third, Dovi fourth, Pedrosa fifth, Inoni sixth, then Lorenzo, Crutcho, Zarco, Alicia Spargo in the top 10 in that pre. You don't often say that this season. Very good job from the older Spargo brother. And then Folger in 11th. So can MacDonald sign off with victory? It'll be very tough from 12th.
Hello to all our viewers. We're here at the Valencia circuit in Spain. Hello from Valencia. The sky above us is clear, and the forecast tells us it should stay that way for the rest of the session.
So we are in warm-up. This is actually a 20-minute session on the morning of race day, at least in the game. I think it's a bit longer in real life, but we are going to actually go out in warm-up. I've never actually done this before, go out in warm-up. Normally MacDonald just puts his feet up, gets into the zone for the race, along with the flying fin. There we go. We've got some testing to do still. So we're not going to use soft tyres for the race. We're going to try out this medium front, hard rear combo. We're going to see if the bike kind of slides, gets that back end going. Like you see into that left-hander heading into the back straight a lot. Will that happen with this setup? And we're just going to be testing out, of course, the grip differences as well between the front and rear. Hopefully it's not too bad after a couple of laps. We're going to do around 3 laps here. Depends how good we can do it. You can actually keep it together for a single lap, unlike in qualifying. So we go across the line. Nice clear track. In front and probably behind. Just as I say that, someone's come out in front. Let's go through the first corner. One of the KTMs. Probably Brady Smith. Jealous of his fellow Brit winning a championship, trying to row in it. His final day in the Grand Prix motorcycle. Going to the right. Oh, losing that rear again, and it's already sliding. And what, we're further away through to that. So we go into the left. It's actually not sliding at all into the left. Let the power down, be quite aggressive as well. Cannot break into that left-hander though. As we go through the next left. Short shift in through the right. We're taking a very narrow line. Kicking up the dirt like MacDonald did back in his Moto2 days. He was racing for the championship in that race. 1.3 down on Dovi. Don't expect to be matching Dovi, as Jack Miller's gone down in warm-up. I'm sure his mechanics are very happy about that. And so is Dovi. Well, in practice and warm-up, they just go down so quickly. So many of them. It's 2.1 seconds off the pace. Breaking very deep into the first corner. Oil! MacDonald's gone bowling. Taking down Zarco. I'm sure Tech 3 will be very happy about that. As he has actually damaged the bike, MacDonald. We're going to have to pit and then try this again. So here we go. Take 2 at this. As I said, 3 laps in this warm-up. Not sure you can count that first lap. Or the start of the second. So here we go. As you can see on the back of the letters as well, I've got the final addition we made to MacDonald's gear. It's actually made it McChamp instead of the McKid in pink. After 8 seasons, he's finally growing up out of it. That's right, what the hell is Marquez doing? Very peculiar line. Let's go through the left-hander. Very good first sector, half a second off. Of course not time-wise, but looking at it, it was smooth at least. Got a bit bucking bronco in the second sector already. And he goes sliding the bike into that left-hander. Look at that, can get on the power though. Less than a second back after 2 sectors, I'll take that. Got Vinales 28-2. Oh, Loris Baz down on his Ducati. One of only 2 riders in the field on a 2-year-old bike. The other rider is Carl Abraham again. That third sector working nicely for us, turning him slightly early into the right-hander, but at least we hit the apex for once. And there is Carl Abraham down in his 2-year-old Aspar. Of course, Baz on the Avintia bike. And look at that, we've got Marc Marquez trying to push MacDonald on, it looks like. 30 flat, very poor final sector. Lost a second and a half. That's something to improve again, that final sector. Very, very tricky to get right. I mean, it's only a couple of corners, but what a couple of corners. There's again faster by a tenth in that first sector. Drifting wide though. As we've got Marc Marquez right on our tail. Just let's say that. Maybe do some race practice. Get out of here, Mark. You're doing a 3 lap simulation here. Messing with the test results. As again, still a 10th up despite battling with Marquez. And losing the rear. So he can not be as aggressive on the rears. Oh, there goes Baz down again. What are you doing in this session, Loris? As there goes Tito Abat. Another home rider. It's 5.6 seconds back. Get down to second gear for that right-hander. Not really helping. Of course, I'm going to try and keep it in third, I think, through there. Go through the final sector, drifting wide in the final corner. A smooth application of the power out the final corner. So here we go, this is our third lap. Of course, not the result we wanted in the previous lap. We're just going to try and feed in the power slightly less, I think. See how that works. Because that's what we're doing everywhere else around the circuit. 10th slower than the previous lap, but still personal best. Or was that slower? I know, because our personal best was the previous lap before that, so yeah, it was a 10th slower. And see, we're just following Elusive and it's like through this lap. Go through the back straight, a second down now, not a good sector. Now out of here. Short shift it up. This aggressive on the throttle seems to work out, and then through the double right. This is the corners where MacDonald can make up loads of Thomas and opponents. And he does short shift. 7/10 down. Can't brake as deep into that right-hander though as the opponents. That's where he's losing time. And as you can see, that's compromising through the run, heading towards the final corner. Well, he's over the curb and he's down. Cannot touch that curb on the outside. So that's warm up. We've learnt do not crash. Yes, we compare that. Let's skip to the end. As it's Marquez at the top of Vinales, Rossi, Dovi, Pedrosa, Cioino, Lorenzo, Zarco, and Petrucci rounds out the top 10. So let's see if Elusive can have a very successful swan song.
Good afternoon from the Ricardo Tormo Circuit in Valencia, where the final round of this year's MotoGP World Championship is about to get underway. The weather is fine and the temperature is perfect for racing. So we're just waiting to find out which riders have opted for hard tyres and which have gone for the soft.
As we look at the grid for the final time, Dovi looks very angry in fourth for 04. Looking further down, there is White still in 12th. Changed the number to Dobby's number. Got the number there. Unfortunately, don't have the blue outline. It's got Miller leading the 5th row. There's Magnum leading the 7th row of Barbera and Baptista. And on the special row is Bradley Smith. Some things never change.
Just a few more seconds for the race to start. Will those riders on the front row be able to make the most of their advantage? Or will those pre-race nerves get the better of them?
Let's see, here's the view from MacDonald to the first corner. You can maybe follow Iannone to it. As we rev up the engine for the final time. Wait for the lights to appear and go out for this 15. Yes, 15. That race. And one of the most technical circuits on the calendar, one of the most difficult. And here goes MacDonald making a very good start up to 7th, past Lorenzo. Looks like Sarko falling him through. And Woody looking down the inside of Dovi. Has he got Iannone in the top 5? What's he doing up there? With Ross ahead of Vinales. No one looking down the inside of Dovi. Oh, but no room. He's got Lorenzo up to 9th ahead of Crutchlow. And you've got Sarko behind in 8th on the Tech 3. As you go. You can see very straight line in it. It's like Iannone's dropping back. Yes, there goes Dovi into 5th. Past the Italian on the Suzuki. Shouldn't be a factor this race. We're focusing perhaps on Dovi in the first part of this race. See where the Ducati goes, and of course that's where we want to go. He's got Volga in 9th. That's not a very good right-hander. Can't get that section right. Haven't really got that right. That little kink. He's got Quattro into the top 10. Got Zarco ahead of his teammate behind. And the Tech 3 pushing us wide towards the curb. What are you doing, Zarco? And here comes Crotchlow like a madman. Which is exactly what the Englishman is. But we dropped down to 8th. So we're behind where we want to be on this first lap, but still got a long, long way to go. And here comes Lorenzo into the first corner. Here comes Crotchlow. Here comes everyone. We're getting railroaded even by a teammate. So here goes MacDonald braking late. Taking some of it back. Back into the top 10. So there's the flying thing up to 11th. Behind us. Oh, around the outside of MacDonald along with Petrucci. What's this invisible string all opponents have? We want some of it. As Volga also lost out majorly in that shuffle. We're way behind Dovi. Look at that already. We're around 3 or 4 seconds back of the Italian who we wanted to follow through the field. Now it looks like it's going to be the teammate for MacDonald. He's got a short shift up to 3rd. Just not getting that shift in the bike there for the time being through that first right. So he kicks up the dirt. And again, we've got to watch out for that first corner. So he goes wide in the right-hander. That is really annoying, that corner. As here goes Petrucci, here goes Volga. Now we're trying to go down the inside of Volga, who's taking him out. Well, now it's going to be impossible to win already as we're last. We've got Rossi past Vinales. MacDonald back by half a second. Goes towards the first corner, can't get the bike in. Got no rear grip, but again, this is good for the race. You know, even though, of course, Torres kind of scaled. We just know that rear tyre will not go out. Well, as you saw in free practice, warm up, everything. Up in the area of that rear end, that's why we went for the hard. And you can see there it goes again. You know, and it's like the rear's actually worn slightly compared to the front in the bottom right. So here's Bradley Smith in front. He's got the short shift. Can we get the bike tilted going into the right? You go past Smith. We've got Paul Espargaro in front. Formula 1 For Moto2 champion, shall I say. MacDonald really connected to Espargaro. What the hell is he doing? Just braking in front of MacDonald. He's lost out to Bradley Smith thanks to that. Go out the final corner, the bike already getting a bit there. He was behind the KTMs. Got a double slipstream here, does MacDonald, heading towards the first corner. He's gone to the fourth that, braking a bit early. That's while they battle. MacDonald slips by into 23rd. Now they can just continue battling as we've got Sam Lowe's in front. In 22nd for the Englishman. His twin brother Alex is racing in World Superbikes with Yamaha. He's alongside Van der Mark, who we saw in real life this season, racing the final couple of rounds on the Tech 3 Yamaha, where Linus Folger deals with Gilbert's syndrome and adjusts his diet and training everything. And of course, wish the German well for next season. Hope he's back to 100% fitness. Well, here goes MacDonald down the inside of those. Takes it. And takes Abraham as well on the exit. Now you've got Barbera. Why not? Get back into the top 20, MacDonald. Here comes Barbera through the long left. Again pushing him towards that curb on the outside. Very well that is MacDonald. But he holds it round the outside as we go on to the fifth lap. Dips under the 1 minute 30 mark. Breaks into the first corner. Will not get railroaded like before. He's got a time penalty though of almost 0.4 of a second, which isn't really that big, but you never know. Give a drag towards the line. He's got Mirahado Baptista in front. 17 now. You've got Lois Baz, a Frenchman, really struggling in warm up in front of us. And a point which it looks like Alex Rins holds just in front of Tito Abatu, who hasn't scored a point this season. Could MacDonald go in his home race? We'll grab it from him. We'll find out. So only a third away through the race. Tyres are looking very, very good. Maybe we could have got away with a soft in the front and a medium rear. But I'd rather not worry about the tyre wear. Let's worry about getting MacDonald through this field. He's up to 19th. Got Batista right on the tail. Jack Miller. Again drifting wide as Lois Baz finds a gap there. Wasn't really there from MacDonald. Once again in the final corner going side by side with someone, but Baz a bit more aggressive, pushing him out wide. They go across the line, setting on 1 minute 30.1. So that time's pretty consistent in his opening few laps. He's got Miller past Baptista for 17th. Now here comes MacDonald zeroing in on the pair. He's battling very hard in the first part of this lap. Looking to the inside of Miller. A bit too far back though. Could maybe think of a move into that double right again. Seems to be the spot. You can see everyone's pairing off in front. We've got Rins and Rabat in front of this lot, and then we've got another pair in front of them. Are we like a homecoming dance and nobody told MacDonald? Where's his partner? He's right behind Miller, not close enough to make a move. But to get maybe slipstream down the front stretch, if we can get a good run in this final sector. Oh, into the right-hander. Look at that. Nice move from MacDonald. That's another overtaking spot then. Another right-hander to look out for. As he keeps Miller behind, heading towards the final corner. The Australian forces his way by. Well, here comes MacDonald with the slipstream. He's across the line with a 30.0. And into the first corner. Minute looking around the outside. MacDonald having none of it though. Holds on to 18th. So makes his way up the order on this 7th for that. Just approaching the halfway mark of this race. It's not, of course, where MacDonald wants to be battling. Well, apart from that incident with Folger, it's been going well. Of course, he went a bit off on the first corner as well. He's all over Baptista. So we're going to pick up the throttle. And in front of the pair, about number 13 and 14, we've got another pair, it looks like. So here comes MacDonald down the inside, Baptista. Very cautious braking from the Spaniard. Oh, we're trying to cut back on the outside. Oh, Baptista almost cuts off MacDonald there. That's the Scot, the champ, goes into 17th. And now he's catching Tito Abat. He's 7/10 in front. And looking at the halfway mark of this race. Front tyre looking very good, which I didn't expect to say. Rear tyre looking a bit ropey, which again I didn't expect to say. Baptista gets back by in that final corner, but it's just giving MacDonald a slipstream in towards the first corner. Gets it down to second, hugs the apex, and secures 17th as it looks like we're back past Rins. Set for a point. It's old Tito, the double Moto2 champ. And it is Jonas Folger and Alicia Spargo battling for 13th and 14th. And the Tech 3 and Aprilia. So not actually far off Folger despite that fall. That's very good for race pace. Let's remember on the hardest difficulty as well. It's on the 8th lap. This is normally when the race ends. We're just getting going in this race now. Battling our way through the field. From last. Lord, staring right at our point now. They're behind Alex Rins and Tito Rabat, two home favourites. Both good battlers in the lower classes. As I said, Rabat, double Moto2 champion. Rins never won a championship in Moto3 and Moto2, but he was runner-up in Moto2. He's finished highest third in Moto3. There's one very highly rated rider on that Suzuki. This one dips down into the 29.5. Looking to take the outside line to Rins. And now the middle line for Rabat. They're 3 wide going into the left-hander. Rins makes the move on MacDonald. MacDonald makes it on. Oh, Rins. And Rabat. So he's into the final points position, is he? No, Rins coming back. Hello, Alex Rins. We definitely got the fight of the real life for Alex Rins. Not the result, but MacDonald halfway through this night for that. Back into the points. He's got a 2-second gap to make up on Folger in front. He's on the tail of Alicia Spargo. Then in 12th, is that Cal? He's kind of lonely. Got separated from his partner. That's a rear tyre halfway worn, but still it's looking good for the end of the race. Front tyre around 5th of the way worn, or was that a quarter? Guess that's just semantics actually. Yes, you've got just over a third of the race to go. As we go on to lap 10. MacDonald starting to set the lap times 29.3 now. They're starting to pommel down now. As those bump in the first corner, bump into this corner, not a factor yet. Thought they might be. But it's good to see they're not at the moment. Go through the dip. You should perhaps just take this time as well while MacDonald's chasing down riders in front. Just to reflect on this last season for Elusive and MacDonald, where MacDonald's just been so consistent, rarely out of the points. And when he does that, he's up there. Didn't really have too many unnecessary crashes in Fair Pile, and let his guard drop, but he already won the championship. Thinking back, there's a couple races where he did crash. Lozano, that was his worst race of the season. His first race with the Ducati though, so kind of understandable. It was half that gap to Volga in front. And Espargaro. As we are into the final third of the season. And on to lap 11. As they're going side by side in the first corner. Espargaro gets past Volga. And yeah, MacDonald just been incredibly consistent this season. Very hard to beat. Could have been even better if he didn't switch to Ducati, maybe. Same for his teammate. Could have been a 1-2, but Flying Finn found it difficult to adapt to the Ducati. But he's having a good race here in Valencia. That was his best race on it. But still top 5 in the championship. Very good going. And of course the Teams Championship won as well. Constructors Championship maybe one for Ducati. As in the Constructors standings, you only get points for your highest placed riders. So for Yamaha of Rossi win, that's where they get their points from that 25. So for Ducati, it's probably Dovi where they're getting the points at the moment. So once again, they're just changing place every corner, the pair in front. Absolutely crazy. As the charge on MacDonald might have been halted. He's dropping back towards the 30s again, that time wise. This rear tyre wear starting to become an issue. But still, that front tyre is holding up brilliantly. Probably should have gone for a soft on the front. But again, that might have caused too big a grip difference from the front to rear. So yeah, probably just better to play it safe the medium. Now the bike's just pushing everywhere, getting understeer. They began quite neutral, the bike, but now, yeah, with the tyres warm. And pushing hard to try and catch up to this battling pair. Really had to push hard. Didn't just about see a top 10 as well, but probably run out of time, MacDonald, to make that a dream. A reality. But he's now right in the back of this pair. Down the inside of Espargaro. Holding off the former Open Class champion. CRT champion, should I say. A few years back. Around 5 years back. That's where he made his name in MotoGP, did Espargaro. We're heading to Suzuki for a couple of years where he got shaded by Maverick Vinales. But still, he's a very good rider in his own right, and he's proving that at Aprilia. That's your old unlucky lap, 13. Yeah, taking the nick down the inside of Volga, very adventurous. Getting the rear end, getting out in that first sector. But it's very difficult to pass around it. And now you can see the rear tyres had enough. And we still got 2.5 laps to go. Oh yeah, very successful ending for MacDonald and Elusive in MotoGP. In Moto2 as well with Andrea. Finally rewarded with a championship. I've been with the team for a few years now. Started, of course, in Moto3 a few seasons back alongside MacDonald. But his partnership with the Argentine was Very good as... Oh, MacDonald gets into Volga. Looking around the outside. Not sure the German really saw him as he was getting passed by Alicia Spargo. Now MacDonald looking to hold off into the final corner from the German, which he didn't do early in the race. Tries to get the power down, but he's up to 14th, heading on to the 14th lap of the race. Just 2 to go. But yeah, for Andrea, just rewards that Moto2 championship. And the Portuguese rider as well. He was our MotoGP rider, remember? A few seasons back alongside Chinese rider. He was on pathetic KTM. And then a Yamaha which we were developing for MacDonald. And just didn't quite get the results. Maybe a class too much for him as he's shown in Moto2. Very handy rider getting a top 3 in the championship, it looks like. And Andre's won races as well. Podiums really come on strong since the beginning of the season. And then of course in Moto3, the dream pair of these championship riders are 1-2 from the Swede. Most expensive signing for the team initially, but boy has that paid off. And Chris Gustafsson, incredible in Moto3. And of course the Moto3 specialist Alejandro didn't show his best in Moto2 last season. That's why he dropped back down. So here goes MacDonald down the inside of the leash for 13th. Oh, and then runs wide. Maybe into the final corner. Or off the final corner, taking the wide line, getting a good run as he got into the final lap of Elusive and Dan MacDonald. And he's a dead heat across the line with Espargo, but he takes 13th, heading towards the first corner. He's been pushed right by the Aprilia though, as he got Sarko and Petrucci battling for 9th. But yeah, the Argentine done pretty well. So a fantastic runners-up spot once again in that championship after doing that a couple of years back for stepping up to Moto2. So yeah, brilliant final season for Elusive and for MacDonald, but can they end with another position here? At the moment, it's just getting a couple of points. Would have loved to have got a podium or a win or a top 10, top 5, but that wasn't going to be the case after that early fault. Of course, with a harder difficulty as well. Pace rise, probably around mid-tier here. You know, in qualifying, probably it's better. And who knows if qualifying was right? It could have been right up there, MacDonald. Could have been a very different story this race, but he's up to 30. He's got Scott Redding in front, as he is in the final sector as the winner. In the end, which is Vinales. As always, battling the rear of the bike. He's going to have to brake early. Try and get a good run off the corner, maybe. I know he's teetering on the Ducati as he ends his career with a 14th place finish, does MacDonald. What a final weekend. As it's not what he wanted, but still, Vinales wins by almost 2 seconds ahead of Rossi. Then we've got Marquez in third, Dobby fourth, the Flying Finn in fifth. Definitely his race on the Ducati. Welcome back to the 20, I don't know, whatever season this is. The 8th season for Elusive. About time. As we've got Pedrosa in 6th, Vino in 7th, Renzo 8th, Petrucci in 9th, Sarko in 10th, then Crutcho in 11th, Redding in 12th, Spargo 13th, there's MacDonald in 14th, 23.8 seconds back. Fastest lap. Right up there actually, 29.3. Just a tenth slower than Marquez. Just half a tenth slower than his teammate. Up there with Dovi. That's not too bad actually. That's better than I expected at this level, with Rins, the final point score ahead of Baptista by less than a second. He's got Paul Spargo at the back behind his teammate Bradley Smith. Then you've got Abraham Lowe's, Barbera outside the top 20. Volga dropped to 20th in the end with Mid in 19th, Baz 18th. Rabat heartbreak in his home race in 17th, not grabbing that point. So in the end, MacDonald scores 3 points. He is 51 points ahead of Maverick Vinales, with The former champion second, 16 points ahead of Marc Marquez on the Honda. We've got 3 different constructors in the top 3. Of course, I know for most of the season we didn't ride on Ducati, but still good to see that. With Rossi in 4th and then the Flying Finn in 5th, 91 points behind his teammate. Then we got Andrea Dovizioso in 6th. Then we chose the 7th, Cal Crutchlow 8th. Jorge Lorenzo ahead of Johan Zarco, even though they scored the same amount of points. On count back it goes to the factory Ducati man ahead of the Yamaha Tech 3 Frenchman with Danilo Petrucci in 11th, Andrea Iannone in 12th on the Suzuki, Scott Redding in 13th, Alicia Spargo in 14th on the Aprilia with 51 points, 20 ahead of Jonas Folger, Zarco's teammate, in 15th. Then Alvaro Bautista in 16th on the Aspar Ducati. Then you got Jack Miller in 17th on the Mark VDS Honda. Then Norsbaz in 18th on the Avintia Ducati. Fantastic job from the Frenchman, with Alex Rins in 19th on the factory Suzuki. And Bradley Smith in 20th, scoring a point for the factory KTM effort. What a glorious day that was in Austria. Has only 5 riders end up not scoring points this season. Hector Barber, Tito Rabat, Paul Espargo, Cal Abraham and Sam Lowe's gets the wooden spoon. As in the Constructors standings, Ducati do take their second Constructors Championship by 3 points. Head of Yamaha, that was very close in the end, with Honda in 3rd, Suzuki 4th, 5th and KTM in 6th. And then in the teams rankings, Elusive grabbed the championship by 29 points of the factory Yamaha team, with Honda in 3rd, 91 points ahead of Ducati, who are way ahead the Premac Racing team and the next best satellite team in 5th. Good job on the Ducati. Then you got the Tech 3 in 6th, 20 points behind Premac and then 23 ahead of LCR Honda. Then you got the factory Suzuki effort in 8th. And then it's a bit of a gap to the Aprilia Gresini team in 9th. And then Aspar do round out the top 10 by 3 points ahead of Mark VDS, who are 3 points ahead of Avintia. Then you've got the factory KTM effort. There's Sochi Point in 13th. As yes, just to remind you, Madonna did seal that championship by 51 points. Maverick Vinales with Marc Marquez in 3rd. As it's perhaps not the ending that MacDonald wanted, that Elusive wanted, but still scored points, still had a fantastic race, showed pace at times, and it was pretty fun having a 50% instead of the normal 25 and managing the pace through the race, managing the tyres as well. Not much management for the tyres. Enya and perhaps ran a bit hard on the front, as I said, and maybe the right on the rear, but they could have gone softer as well on the rear too. But 14th, started 12th. Race ejector was actually the finish, Charles, so he just missed out on the race ejector, still won the championship. Crashed out early as well in that race, so it could have been even better. Probably would have got a top 10 without that incident. Then the Flying Finn started 19th, finished in 5th, smashed the race ejector, finished 5th in the championship. Fantastic from him. Then in Moto 2, Andrea from 34th to 3rd, grabbing a podium in his final race for the Moto 2 title winner. Then the Portuguese rider, I told you he had improved massively since the beginning of the season. He showed it once again in the final race. Started 3rd, won the race, smashed the race ejector, finishes 3rd in the championship. Then our most successful pairing in Moto 3 with Chris Gustafsson. Started 2nd, crashed out though in the race, ends up in 8th. Doesn't achieve the race objective along with MacDonald, but still won the championship. And then grabbing the spoils in the final Moto 3 race goes to Argentine, while Alejandro Pedicenta started 4th, finished in 1st, smashed the race, finishes 2nd in the championship. And one of our youngest tenured rider after MacDonald, I believe, is the Argentine rider. Then we've got Andrea, then the Flying Finn, then the Portuguese rider and the Swede. As Portuguese rider improves all of his stats, braking for management, corner and body position. Now, he's a very handy rider. All of his stats in the mid-80s now. Same for the Argentine rider, his body position up to 84. And not a bad send-off with all those credits and reputation. I'll take that to the bank, please. Maybe not the reputation, but the credits, definitely. So there's only one thing left to do during activity and test. You do sponsor event for 9,000 credits. Got an evening for 1,200 reputation. Coach, muscle building, throttle control ability up by 20% for the next race. Gym, and muscles, 100 XP. Or test session, improve apart by 2 weeks. I think we actually did a test session. Let's sign off by riding off. As MacDonald ends where it began, in Valencia. On a Moto3 machine, you had to hit a high-pitched whine of one of those, and this is the KTM. Got to be at 40.2. Move apart by 2 weeks, which won't even matter. Because you're just going to have an easy first lap. Let's get used to a Moto3 machine again. But yeah, I thought I'd do the test, because this is where we sign off for the MotoGP 17 manager career. And I cannot thank each and every one of you who have viewed the video, liked, disliked, commented, shared, done anything to these videos. I cannot thank you enough for how successful this series turned out to be. It's been the flagship series for this channel since this game got released, around 5 months ago now. And I've enjoyed almost every moment. I admit at times I've been frustrated with the game, with my own riding, but overall it's just been a fun and fantastic series to record, and now I've enjoyed doing that for you. Each and every moment I've enjoyed pressing that button to record. Not each and every moment during the recordings, but pressing the record button and ending it. That's been pretty nice. And of course editing these videos and putting up. Of course you have the full playlist that's already been updated. You can go through all the episodes. 145 I believe episodes. Including the recap for the final season. That'll be included in there as well. As we're just 3 seconds off the pace. Come on MacDonald, speed up. It's already in retirement mode. Because you do have to be so aggressive with these Moto3 bikes. But it's not the end. MotoGP 17 on this channel. Of course, it's going to be rider career. Not next week. We're going to take a week break. But it should be starting the following week. Gonna have a new rider. It's not going to be Dan MacDonald. He's off into the sunset somewhere. He's going to be on a beach, drinking pina coladas, having sexy parties or something. There's a new rider. A familiar rider, actually, to the series. Bit of a hint. So it's going to be a familiar name, at least. We're going to be following their career. Because there is someone we've already seen in this series, so we're going to follow their path from the Red Bull Rookies Cup, the KTMs. Also Moto3 machines, I believe, those bikes. But it's the first step up. And then you go to Moto3, which is in the background. And then, of course, you've got Moto2 and MotoGP. So we're going to aim to try and win all 4 championships. We didn't quite achieve that with MacDonald with all 3. Oh, still a second off MacDonald. You're getting there. Getting there. So that is the aim for rider career. Win all 4 series with that rider. Of course, ending with a MotoGP crown. We might defend it depending on how many seasons it takes. Of course, I want it to be perhaps less than 8 seasons. No, have it around this length. Be right up to the release window of MotoGP 18, hopefully. So you never know. Because I intended this season to be around, I think, 5 seasons in the beginning. I thought, oh, I'm just going to win Moto3 in a couple of seasons, then, you know, Moto2 in a couple of seasons, MotoGP as well. Take around a season maybe, or 2. So max, it's perhaps going to be 7 seasons, but I thought with us lasting in Moto3 for so long, it's only fair to have, you know, 2 seasons of Moto2, then 2 seasons of MotoGP. As all MacDonald is quicker. He's going to have to put it out in the final sector though to achieve this target.
But the tyres should be up to speed now. So of course he's going to achieve on the next lap. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's what you can expect in rider career. Haven't actually touched rider career in this game. Waiting to see what it looks like. He's still a second off. What are you doing, MacDonald? He's too used to MotoGP braking to have to brake very early from that race. I wish it's so much more with this bike. Be a bit more aggressive on the throttle as well. It's always down. The first sector. Thought I was pushing it a bit more. Obviously not. Get on your bike, MacDonald. Come on. Even though it doesn't really matter if we achieve this objective. It'd be nice to. And sign off into the sunset for the team and MacDonald. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what rider career brings for us as Valencia and Elusive the game. We were part of the VR46 Academy. And so that's how you kind of field your calendar, not just doing, you know, say the Moto 3 calendar or Moto 2 calendar. You also did events with the Academy. Such as rallying, motocross, well not motocross, but flat track riding. And rallying. So what have you done, MacDonald? Why have you unride? Wasn't quite going to achieve it though, but look at that. Less than half a second off. Shame this lap's invalid. Because I get the feeling he would have got it on this lap. But yeah, that's what I loved about Valencia and also the game, is that it was basically all milestone games chucked into one. So it had a bit of the rally, it had the flat track, it had the off-road. It had some drifting as well. It even had RC cars as DLC. Never actually tried it in Valencia and Elusive game, should probably try that next time I play it. So yeah, if rider career is not going to be like that, maybe it's going to revert back to say MotoGP 15 where you just had this calendar and you tried to achieve the best you could. No in testing and developing the bike. So we'll see with rider career. I'm playing this game so much, I think I'm at like 80 hours now after this episode. Probably a bit more. Does make me kind of appreciate this game a bit more. Maybe have a fuller feel of this game compared to previous MotoGP games where I just played mainly like online for MotoGP 14 or snippets of career with MotoGP 15. Of course, with Valencia and Elusive the game, that was mainly so many modes, everything. So yeah, playing so much manager career, I at least know what I want from the game next time out. We'll see what I wanted from the game in general after like rider career. I played some online, I haven't played too much though. I'd like to play some more. That's a horrible first sector, MacDonald. Maybe the tyres have gone off now. Even though they don't look worn in the bottom right, they have that little window where they do operate fully. I think we're outside it now. But yeah, let's go into the braking zone. You can see we look up the rear as well, which is not a good sign. I might bring out a review of this game for Christmas, I think. Same with WRC7. I meant to do that review after like a week of the game, but again, time escapes me. So often does. Now that I'm actually well, not full time with this channel, but you know, every day with this channel, to actually have a full time job. So you know, there's not much free time, unfortunately, trying to do this and you know, the full time job. He sets a 40.7, still half a second off MacDonald. Even though that is his new fastest lap. So it just have to be half a second faster than this, MacDonald. As that's an invalid lap. Where did he go off? He's on the curb. He's only got 2 attempts after this. Was it 1 attempt after this? Just look at that. Look how much faster he was in that first sector. So you may see for next year, just a little hint of the end of the year kind of update vlog that will be putting out in December. You may see cutting back on this channel slightly, so just so that I can just you know, do more stuff in my free time and record for the other channel as well. So I do have a second channel, but I haven't been able to edit stuff for it because I've been so focused on this channel. But it should still be every day with this channel. It's just, you know, we won't have 2 videos per day. I think it's the aim for next year. And then with the other channel, it won't be every day on that channel, but it'll be, you know, at least videos every week is the aim. To get that channel alive and kicking again after being dormant for, I think, over a year now. And I've got so much footage, you know, the racing footage to put up on there. This all just misses out on his goal, but this is our final lap, I believe, to do it. Don't get overtime like you would in a normal session. It stops when it hits 0, I believe. So here we go, pushing it like a hell in the first sector, locking up the rear. And he's up. That's it, MacDonald. They've got a hang of this Moto3 machine now. Constantly in the 40s. Just not quick enough for the time being. There you go, a bit more aggressive, getting the power down. Good to see the crowd have stayed, waving all their flags for this testing. Oh, look at that from MacDonald. Going over a special that time, is he? And I hit the curb. No, Dan MacDonald. How can that be invalid that when he went on the dirt and that cost him time? Look at that, it cost him almost a second. Oh, MacDonald, you had to end like that, didn't you? Well, yeah, that's a kind of sneak peek of things after manager career. Your rider career, cutting down on the amount of videos as well on this channel, but as I said, starting up the other channel once again. And the other channel will feature like league race. I'm in an F1 2017 league, so feature racing from that league, older videos as well from leagues. That's F1 2016 from the same league, and then a couple other leagues as well that was part of. For F1 2016, and then you got Rocket League as well, part of that league for a few seasons. Still got the show footage from that. And then apart from league racing footage, it's just going to be other gaming. Because I don't just play, you know, MotoGP 17. I do play, you know, other racing games that you see with WRC7, with GT Sport. As he goes down, MacDonald, and doesn't achieve the target. So yeah, on that other channel, you will see. No, not just motor racing games, but you'll see other games that I played. I've been playing lots of South Park recently, you know, with my time off, and that was, you know, fantastic fun. So you might see games like that, or, you know, other sports games as well. As I do like my NBA games, you know, like NBA Live I've got, and of course Madden as well. And then, of course, you've got other type of games as well. Got loads on Steam. I might just play through my Steam library so many games I haven't played on Steam that might be a series on my channel. So yeah, lots of things to consider for next year. But I hope you have enjoyed MotoGP 17 Manager Career, and I will be back with Rider Career. We say goodbye to Elusive. We say goodbye to Dan MacDonald, but we don't say goodbye just yet. But we say, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.